McCartney Green. And please visit my website at mccartneygreen.org and see what this is all about. Some beautiful, beautiful words that the Lord has given me. Okay, we are on book number 14, Such a Time as This, in Jesus' name. Chapter 24. Here we go. I'm just going to say, everyone, don't freak out. Hold on to your hats, because over the next several chapters, it's about to get pretty crazy. And I just have to admit that as the Lord was giving me these next several chapters, I cried and I cried and I cried, and I did not want to write them. But He's good, and He turns all things for good. Okay, here we go. It is January 27th, 5 p.m., Monday evening at the Keno Estate, Crystal Cove, California. Eric smiled as he answered his phone and nodded at the others in the room. It's Thomas. Hello, Thomas, Eric greeted brightly. Hello, Eric. So did the 3 you were expecting today arrive? Yes, they did, and they're sitting right here in my study. May I change this to a video call? Yes, of course. Eric placed the call. Everyone, he began, meet Thomas Sawyer. Thomas, let me refresh you on everyone here. He pointed the phone and got a close-up of each person as he spoke their name. This is Ronnie, age 92, from right here in Cali. Ronnie nodded. Hello, Thomas. Nice to see you again. And you as well, Thomas answered. And I'm sure you remember Alo Quinn, age 83, from Quapaw, Oklahoma, near your neck of the woods. Yes, Alo, I couldn't forget you, Thomas said. The story of you regaining the use of your legs is indeed inspirational. I was so happy for you when I heard about it. Thank you, Thomas. When I get back home and you get back home, we'll have to arrange to meet in person. That would be my pleasure. And this is Seth Iman, age 75. He and his lovely wife arrived today all the way from Australia. Ah, yes, Thomas said. It's nice to see a larger picture of you instead of just your face on a tiny little Zoom square. Seth laughed. And you as well. I imagine that was a long trip, Thomas added. Ah, yes, it was. 17 hours, but it was totally worth it. I can't describe the feeling of being here in the same room with these amazing men who are God's anointed. I'm like a kid in a candy store. Thomas laughed. Well, hopefully it won't be the only time you all get together so that I can join you next time. We'll make that happen, Seth said quietly. And here's one of our newly discovered, Eric went on. This is Lev Vasilyev. He is also 75, and he is from Abakan, Russia. Lev, Thomas said reverently, I just read your story last night. Brother, my heart was in my throat. It's nice to meet you. Lev smiled. Nice to meet you, Thomas. Eric smiled and moved to the next man, and this is the guy who's been taking care of him, Miguel Alvarez, and he too is 75, and he is from Tarapoto, Peru. Miguel, I'm happy to meet you. I read your story too, just yesterday. It was thrilling. Miguel laughed. Well, thank you. I've read your story too, and I'm thinking being swept up in a tornado was also a thrill. They all chuckled. Eric moved on. And last but definitely not least, I'm sure you remember 98-year-old Billy Wallace from Scotland. Thomas smiled. Oh, no way I could forget you, Billy. Billy laughed. I do come on a little strong sometimes, Billy said. I'm sorry you aren't able to come and meet us all in person. Me too, but I'm afraid what I'm facing here needs immediate attention. As a matter of fact, that is why I called you, Eric, because I actually need your help. I actually need all of you. Eric frowned. Oh, yes, of course, Thomas. Tell us what's going on and what we can do to help. Thomas sighed. So, for those who don't know, I'm here in Pine Forest, Georgia, because several generations ago, back in 1827, my ancestor, Knox Sawyer, started a life with his wife, Bertie, right here. He was the first mayor of the town. He built a home, and it is still standing right here on Main Street. We had no idea our family was from Georgia. We found Knox's journals, and it led us here. And then God spoke to me and told me that we needed to come back here and take back the home and bless it, fill it with light and love, and dispel all evil. Thomas went on to tell the story of how Justice's family took on the task and had died. And then Justice pulled himself together and came to Pine Forest. He told how his grandson met Lily Tanner and how he felt like they were meant to be, and then how taking back the house from the dark forces was not as simple as they'd originally thought. Thomas sighed. The darkness, the demons, they are much stronger than we thought. Justice and I have fasted and prayed and blessed and anointed, and we feel like we're fighting a losing battle. We had others come in with us, pray, read the Bible, sing hymns, but things keep happening. Things like what? Seth asked. Well, the first time Justice and Lily walked through the house, something pushed her down the attic stairs. Also, at one point, she was looking out the upstairs window and was talking like she was in a trance and talking about jumping. And then outside the home, a woman swears the light was red, but then turned green, and she went and ended up running a red light and had to swerve to keep from being hit, and ended up almost running over Lily and Justice on the sidewalk in front of the house. And also outside the home, a guy in all black on a bike almost ran Lily over and then just disappeared. And the top of a perfectly healthy tree broke and almost fell on both Justice and Lily as they walked. And when Lily was in the parking lot of a grocery store, a man swears something took over driving his car, and it plowed right into Lily and broke her arm. And then, most recently, Lily and Justice were standing out front of the house, and the double front windows exploded and showered them with glass and cut up their faces and necks. They said that they'd been declaring their love to each other, and it was like the house, or what's in it, was not very pleased about that. Ronnie sighed. Well, it definitely sounds like they're targeting Lily. Eric nodded. It sounds that way, but really that's how the bad guys work. They target the loved ones of the one they're trying to hurt, and they want to hurt Justice. At least that's the thought that just came into my head. To defeat the Sawyers, defeat their women. And I just got that same feeling, Miguel said. Aye, Billy agreed. That's what they've been doing all along. If I remember the story of Knox Sawyer correctly, they took out the youngest daughter and the middle daughter first, and then Bertie herself, and then one of the girls committed suicide. If we trace the line, I bet the women got the worst of things. You're right, Thomas said softly. But God sent us to get rid of this evil and to take back the house, but I'm at a loss. And I feel ashamed that I can't withstand it, and I can't let this go on any further. We must save Lily Tanner. The moment Thomas said those words, there was a large bang that made them all jump. And what was that? Eric asked. Where are you? Thomas sighed. Well, sir, I am at the house. I came here to pray and to read the Bible aloud. And what was the loud bang? Thomas rose from where he'd been sitting on the stairs and he headed to the kitchen. Well, it appears some tools that were sitting on the countertop have been thrown to the floor. And you're there alone? Eric asked. Yes, because I don't want anyone else here. I feel like it's too dangerous. And you shouldn't be there alone either, Lev said. I have no choice. I have to battle this evil. Okay, Thomas, but you can't do it alone. Please, you'll have my help, Eric said. He looked around. Anyone else? They all nodded in the affirmative. Well, yes, of course, they said. So this will be the first mission that God is having us work together, Alo said softly. It must be important. They all agreed. Eric nodded. If Lily Tanner is in danger, it is extremely important. The Tanners are part of my family, and my son Ricky bought that house for Lily. Thomas, right now we will all pray together, and then later we will all seek personal guidance on how to handle this problem. He looked around. Would you like to kneel? Absolutely, they all said. Eric moved to the center of the room, and they all knelt in a circle. Who would like to go first? You go first, Alo said quickly. I feel like God has told me that you are the leader of this group of 12. Eric sighed. I agree with that, Billy said. I feel it strongly. I also agree, Miguel said, and the rest quickly agreed. Very well, Eric said softly, immediately feeling the weight of such a calling. But we'll mull that over later when we find our 12th member and we are all 12 together. He bowed his head. Dear Father in heaven, we call upon you at this time, first to protect Brother Thomas. And that is the end of that scene. New scene. It is January 27th, 11:30 p.m., Monday night. We are at the Tanner home, Pine Forest, Georgia. Keegan helped his wife up from her knees after their prayer. She immediately snuggled down into the bed, and he leaned over her and pulled the covers up under her chin and kissed her softly. And she frowned. Where are you going? He sighed. I'm going to look in on Lily again. She nodded. She understood because she too was very concerned about her sweet girl, especially since they'd met with Thomas and Justice and had been made aware of just how serious and strong was the enemy. Keegan headed down the hall past Iris's room on the right and a bathroom on the left. He turned right, he passed the guest room and Heather's room on his left, Rose and Violet's room on his right, Gabe's unoccupied room on his left, and finally to the room shared by Lily and Daisy. He knocked softly, and when no one answered, he opened the door and peeked in. Daisy's bed was empty. He smiled as he neared Lily's bed and found them snuggled up together. Leaning over, he lovingly brushed a hand over Daisy's head, and she opened her eyes. "Hey, Daddy," she whispered. He nodded. "Hello, sweetie. I just came in to check on our girl here." Daisy smiled. "Well, she was having a bad dream, so I came over to sleep with her." "Well, thank you for being such a good sister." "Daddy, is Lily going to be okay?" "Yes." "You won't let anything happen to her, right?" I'm going to give it my all, Daisy." "Are you worried?" "Well, I'm worried in that I don't want to underestimate the enemy anymore. Still, your mother and I just had a long prayer over Lily and all of you girls, and we had a feeling of peace come over us, so we know that God is with us in this. What his plan is, I'm not sure, but I'll do whatever I can to keep you all safe from the dark forces of this world." "Daddy, do you wish that she just never met Justice?" Keegan frowned and shook his head. "No, baby girl. How can I wish that Lily didn't ever meet the man that she loves? Even if meeting him means trouble for her or for us, finding the one we love is worth it. When your mother met me, I brought her a lot of trouble, but she still wanted me with her. Do you think it would have been better had we never gotten together?" "Oh, no, of course not." He smiled. "Right. Sometimes when our path in life brings lots of light into the world, the dark forces try to put an end to us. Look at your brother and Iris and the young twins. If I had left your mom because I didn't want to bring her trouble, those 4 people wouldn't exist. And without them, the world would be a much darker place." Daisy nodded. "For sure." Keegan smiled. "So, we will band together and trust God." Daisy smiled and sighed. "Well, I feel so much better already just talking to you about it, Daddy. I feel stronger." "Okay, Dad, we will face this head on." "Head on," he repeated. "Head on," Lily added in a soft whisper, and Keegan smiled at her. "How you doing, Lily girl?" "I'm okay, Daddy. I'm not afraid. I'm sorry I scared everyone. I'll try to be stronger. We won't let them win. So, Daddy, let me tell you something. I mean, like what's in my heart." "Okay." "I'm pretty sure that Justice and I were meant to be together, just like you and Mom. He's the one, and I can't let the bad guys win because I love him, Daddy. And I'm pretty sure he loves me, though we haven't actually declared it. We've said, 'I'm falling in love with you,' but we haven't said, 'I love you.' Not yet. But, Dad, we will. And we're going to have a family just like this one with lots of kids and lots of love and lots of fun. And we'll have so much fun watching all the cousins play together. All your grandchildren," she added. Keegan smiled. "Well, now, that's a very nice picture you're putting together, Lily. I very much look forward to it. Let's see, 9 children who all get married, and each couple has at least 4 kids. That's 36 grandchildren. I'll have to build a bigger house so you can all come home for Christmas or Thanksgiving." "Oh, that would be so much fun," Daisy said. Lily nodded. "Or you could build a bunch of cottages, like at the inn, like in a big circle all around the pasture behind our house, and all our doors can open up into a common giant yard where we can have barbecues and play games." "Oh, yes, Lily," Daisy said, her eyes wide. "Oh, this is going to be so much fun, all of us together, and all of our kids together." Lily smiled. "So much fun. Daddy, we'll have to build a giant outdoor kitchen, and I'll cook for you all." Keegan laughed. "Well, let's get through the next few weeks first, and then we'll start to put together a plan." "Okay, it's a deal." Keegan sighed. "Good night, ladies. I love you both so much." "Good night, Daddy," Daisy said. "Night, Daddy," Lily murmured. "We love you too." Keegan quietly left the room, but when he got into the hall, he heard soft crying. He headed straight to Iris's room and sat down on her bed and ran a hand over her soft curls. Baby girl, Daddy's here. Iris opened her eyes and immediately crawled up into his lap. Daddy, she cried softly. What's the matter, my flower girl? She sniffed loudly and wiped her nose on her arm. I want Gabe. Well, of course you do. But you know Gabe is in California, right? Iris sniffed. Yes, she said softly. He's spending the night with his friends, but I don't want him to stay with his friends. I want him to stay with me. Why? Because he plays with me. Well, but your sisters play with you too, and Mommy plays with you, and I play with you too. I know. So why does it have to be Gabe? She thought a moment. 'Cause I'm not scared. Keegan thought a minute. Do you mean that when Gabe is with you, you're not afraid of anything? Yes, she said softly, as if she realized the reason when he said it. And why are you scared? What are you scared of, baby girl? The bad people. And where are the bad people? When I sweep, they tell me to come here, but I don't want to come. Keegan frowned. What do they look like? She sniffed. They is mean, but they try to look nice. Mean? You mean like they have a mean look on their face? Yes. And how do they try to look nice? Well, they smile, but it's a mean smile, and they change colors. Oh, what colors are they? Red, and then they change to green, and then they change back to red. And sometimes they have horns growing out of their heads. So you see these bad men when you're sleeping? Yes. And sometimes when I am awake, they come on the TV. Do they say anything to you? They say, come here. Or they say, I'm going to get you. They say, I'm a bad little girl, and I'm not bad. Keegan hugged her tight. No, you're not bad. You are so very good, Iris. He closed his eyes. Father, please protect Iris. Keep her safe from all the dark forces of this world. Lord, I rebuke this evil in the name of Jesus. Be gone in the mighty name of Jesus Christ. Lord, shield her with your light in Jesus' name. Amen. Iris snuggled up against his chest, and he kissed her head. Sweet girl, would you like to come and sleep with Mommy and I? Uh-huh, she mumbled. Keegan lifted her and carried her into his room. Oh, my goodness, what have we here? Lizzie asked softly as Keegan laid the child down next to her mother. We have a scared little girl. Lizzie snuggled up to her daughter. Aw, don't be afraid, sweet girl. Daddy and I will always keep you safe. Iris sighed, maybe in pleasure, maybe in relief. Her body relaxed, and in only a minute, she was sound asleep. New scene, January 27th still, 8:30 p.m., Monday evening. We are at the Keno Estate, Crystal Cove, California. Dad, Ricky said solemnly, I just want to say thanks for allowing us all to come crash your angel party. Mark, Joey, Jason, and Justin all laughed. So did the other 6 members of the 12. Well, don't be silly, Rick. You're my son. Of course I wanted you all to meet these remarkable men. Well, I'm really glad you extended the invite, Mark said. We feel very blessed to be a part of this amazing group. We do indeed, Justin said. I agree, Joey said. It was like we didn't want to intrude because you already have a house full, but we were all wondering and speculating how things were going over here. Well, Shelley began, actually the house isn't quite full yet, but it will be tomorrow when 3 more of the 12 arrive, along with the Okellos and Ballon and Sanyu. Where are you going to put them all? Angel asked, because we have room in our house if you need it. Aw, thanks, Angel. But we've got it taken care of. We have actually just enough bedrooms for the 3 more of the 12 that are coming. And then the Okellos and Ballon and Sanyu are going to stay at Joey and Breeze's giant home. And then Jeffy might spend a night or 2 over there with them, though the Okellos have a full schedule of things that they and the children wanted to do while they're here in the States. Apparently, they've made several good friends over their past visits here, and they want to catch up with them as well. And isn't it so awesome that Jason is surprising them with a special person? Angel nodded with a smile. Yeah, Hart is pretty excited to see them, Jason said. Jeffy frowned. Yes, and Maureen told me that Balan is excited to meet some friends he made last year that he's kept in touch with. It's so weird. It's like my babies are growing up and are already leaving the nest. See, Shelley said, her brows raised. It doesn't feel good, does it? Bree nodded. It does not. It seems they're little for such a short time. Well, at least you have another one on the way, Angel said. Oh, how I wish I'd been able to have another baby. Shelley smiled at her friend. Well, you may not have another child of your own, but Angel, how many foster kids have you and Jason raised? Angel smiled. Too many to count. I know I shouldn't complain, but the feeling is so deep, and seeing so many new babies born lately, and here both Bree and Bella are expecting, it makes me yearn. Jason frowned. It was the first time he'd heard his sweet wife talk publicly about her need for another child. She'd always acted like it was okay. She always said she was so busy with the foundation, and Jason was so busy with Ameritech that they didn't have any extra time to be parents again anyway. Her inability to have another child was simply pushed aside as, well, it's just as well. He glanced at Justin and Lori, who'd never been able to have a child, and wondered if Lori hurt privately like Angel did. Angel laughed. You have 5, Shelley. Give me a few of yours. Shelley smiled. She did feel a little guilty that she was blessed with 5 new children, while Angel yearned for another one. Oh, no, Angel, she finally said. You for sure don't want one of my little monsters. So what time are the others coming in tomorrow? Ricky asked, effectively changing the subject. Well, Sakchai is arriving first, about 7 in the morning, Eric said. And he's the one coming from Thailand, Justice asked. Yes, Eric said. And then Andrew Masani and the Okellos will be arriving about 10 in the morning. And then Enrique from Norway will be arriving around 2 in the afternoon. Ah, I am very much looking forward to meeting them all, Billy said with excitement. This is such a gift. They all smiled, and Shelley nodded. It has been so much fun meeting all these men and some of their wives, but even more fun has been watching Eric. He seems different. How so? Both Justin and Eric asked at the same time. Oh, it's hard to explain. Lighter, I guess. Eric's brow creased. Well, it's been a great pleasure to meet these men whom God has called together. It feels very humbling, and it's like, what do I call it? Reassuring? I mean, to know I'm not the only one, and to realize that for some reason that we don't know yet, there's a bigger purpose. I'm walking by faith, not knowing, but following along, and so are the rest of them. Jason nodded. It's like you're a squad venturing out into unknown territory, and you have no idea what you'll come across. You know the enemy's out there somewhere, and you will dispatch them as you come upon them. But you also know that there are others out there, those you must help or rescue or befriend or teach. Ricky nodded. Yeah. And like a squad of men on the mission, you are forming a brotherhood that can't be broken. And Cam finally spoke then. Or it's also kind of like the 12 apostles, or 11, I guess. They'd been the closest to Jesus, and once he left, they knew they had to go on. And though they went separately, they would always remember the shared time they spent with Christ. Exactly, Ronnie said softly. Well done, Cam. The others in the room nodded. It's true, Seth said. We can't always stay together like this. We'll have to go our separate ways. We are from all over the world. We'll eventually go back to our lives, but our missions will coincide with each other, and we'll all do the work the Lord has put in front of us. Well, I don't mean to break up the party, Joey said, but we have to get our kiddos home and in bed, and I have some work I have to take care of tonight before I can bed down too. So Breeze and I got to get home. Well, we actually do too, Bella said, but oh my goodness, I'm so happy to be able to meet you all. And Shelley, when the others come and get settled, you're going to have to invite us back. Nonsense, you don't need an invitation. We're family. You come by any old time you want. Surely you know that. Bella smiled. I surely do, Miss Shelley, but still, I just wanted to make sure we don't overwhelm you. Have I ever seemed overwhelmed to you? Everyone became silent, and Shelley looked around. Okay, I mean, other than when my husband died and I was presented with 5 new children. Other than that, Mom, Bree said, no, you've always been a rock. Eric smiled, because indeed she has. Before you all leave, Eric said softly, let's pray together, and let's be sure to include our East Coast family, especially because of their current challenges, and don't forget them in your personal prayers. Let's find the best path for them to take. They all agreed, and everyone took hands. Billy, as the eldest, will you honor us? Eric asked, and Billy nodded with a smile. I will be the one honored. New scene. It is January 28th. It is 7 a.m. Tuesday morning at the Kino Estate, Crystal Cove, California. Sok-Chai Chen stood at the bottom of the front steps of the Kino home. He smiled when he looked up at Eric Kino as he came out of the double red doors onto the large, elegant porch. Sok-Chai smiled. Grandmaster Kino, it is a huge honor to see you standing there in person. He bowed from the waist and finally straightened. Eric waited for him to straighten and then returned the gesture of honor. It's a great pleasure to finally meet you, Sok-Chai. A great pleasure indeed. And please call me Eric, he said as he came down the steps to shake the man's hand. Cam came out the door and hurried down. Master Chen, Cam said reverently, let me get your bags. Thank you so much, young man, Sok-Chai said, somewhat surprised at the title. How did you know? Cam smiled. Oh, my wife and I did a little research. Sok-Chai, this is my son-in-law, Cameron Wallace. Cameron, Sok-Chai said, and offered his hand. Cam bowed quickly and shook the man's hand. Sir, it's very nice to meet you. He then moved past him to get the 2 large suitcases. Come in, Eric said to Sok-Chai. Are you hungry? Are you tired? Would you like to take some time to get settled and rest? I am hungry, and I am too excited to be tired, and I am very much looking forward to meeting the others who are here, and also to having an authentic American breakfast. Eric chuckled. Well, just in case you find it unpalatable, say that 3 times fast. Well, just in case you find it unpalatable, we have some curry rice and pork ready. But if you truly want an American classic, there are eggs and bacon and pancakes with maple syrup and toast and fruit or protein smoothies. And I think you mentioned bagels with cream cheese in your email to my wife, topped with smoked salmon. Sok-Chai grinned. It all sounds amazing. Well, come on in then, and I'll introduce you to everyone. Eric looked the man over as he walked beside him. He was classic Thai, meaning an Asian look, tan skin, dark eyes, and Eric could see why the man thought he might be related to him. Why that man said he might be related to them. He had that Native American look about him. Many people had mistaken Eric for Native American. Sok-Chai's longish hair came to just below the collar. Part of it was very dark, brownish-black, but was now streaked with gray, and it had a bit of a wave to it, again like Eric. He had many laugh lines around his eyes and mouth and seemed very positive and happy. He wore tan knit slacks, a white shirt, a pink sport coat, which was surprising but striking, and a floral tie that had both tan and pink flowers, bringing it all together. Eric smiled at the wardrobe choices. He was very much looking forward to getting to know this man. Sok-Chai walked inside and glanced around, his eyes getting wide as he saw the giant foyer, the sweeping staircase, and to his left, an enormous living room. Ah, Eric, what an amazing home. Eric nodded. I've been blessed. I have a huge family, and when we're all here, which we all will be later this evening, you will see that the home cannot even contain us. Sok-Chai smiled. And I suppose that is how it should be. Eric sighed. He'd heard Sok-Chai's story of his meeting with an angel at the age of 10, but he'd yet to hear the story of his life and why now, at the age of 84, he was all alone. Do you have any family? Sok-Chai shook his head. Not anymore. Not blood-related, though I have a large network of people who regularly invite me to dinner. Eric nodded. Well, I am very intrigued, and I would love to hear all about your life when you're ready to share. Sok-Chai nodded. I will unburden myself to you gladly, Grandmaster Kino. He stopped and closed his eyes and sniffed the air. Ah, but it does smell simply delicious in here. Eric smiled. I'll show you around our home after breakfast, but now please come into the dining room and meet everyone. They all arose early because they were very excited to meet you. Eric walked Sok-Chai through the living room, up the 3 wide steps, and into the enormous dining room. And there he is, Billy said jovially as he stood, and the others sitting at the table also stood. Shelley came forward for where she'd been placing a basket of bagels on the table, and Eric smiled at his wife's radiant face as she approached. Sok Chai Chen, please meet my wife, Shelley Kino. Shelley offered her hand and gave a slight bow. Sok Chai did the same and nodded in appreciation of the bow and the beautiful woman. It is very nice to meet you, Mrs. Kino. She smiled. Please call me Shelley. And Master Chen, it is a great pleasure to meet you. Eric introduced Sok Chai to the entire group, with his own children being last. He was invited to sit. Eric called on Alo to bless the food, and the giant breakfast was consumed. Sok Chai delighted in all of the new tastes and smells, proclaiming his newfound love of pancakes totally drenched in maple syrup and bacon also covered in maple syrup, confessing that he had quite a sweet tooth. When breakfast was over, Eric and Cam helped to clear the table, and Shelley, Jeffy, Danny, Hazel, and Anna all quickly cleaned the kitchen while the others moved down into the living room as they continued getting to know each other. Eric finally joined them and began with an apology. Well, my new friends, he began, I have a matter of business I need to take care of. My young ones have been very patiently waiting for days for me to give them their martial arts lesson. I've been so busy playing host to you, I have put them off for a few days, but I must keep my promise today. Eric, take care of your family, Miguel said quickly. But as a favor to us, would it be possible to watch your class? Eric looked up surprised. Oh, of course. Wonderful, Sok Chai said. Eric looked him over. I understand that you have taught Muay Thai in your country, am I right? Ah, so you also did some research on me. Yes. I taught for 10 years, beginning when I was 30. It's a part of my story that I will share with you all later today if you wish. It began as a good time and ended badly, but I would so love to be witness to you teaching. Eric nodded. Very well. Since there are so many of us, I will teach on the beach this morning. Whoever wants to watch, please meet us down there in 20 minutes. You are invited to participate if you'd like. Just let Shelley know and she can provide you with a uniform. We have plenty in all sizes. If you'd rather watch, there are chairs near the stairs as you head down to the beach. The group became excited. Cam? Yes, sir, Cam responded quickly. You and Jeffy will join us? Oh, yes, sir, he said. Shelley? Yes, I'll be happy to join you, she said with a smile. Melody, Eric said as she was rounding up the children to get them in their uniforms, and she smiled. Yes, sir, of course, I'll do whatever you ask of me, but tell everyone, like, don't forget that I'm a newbie. He grinned. I won't have to tell them. That will be easy to see. She made a face and the others laughed. We all were newbies at one time, Jeffy said as she hugged her. New scene. It is January 28th, 10 a.m., Tuesday morning. We are over the other side of the country at the Tanner home, Pine Forest, Georgia. I'll get it, Lily called as she came down the stairs. It's Justice. She opened the door and smiled. Hey. Good morning, Lily, he said softly. How are you feeling? I'm feeling much better. It's weird. I woke up in such a good mood. I just feel lighter. Justice smiled. Well, I guess our prayers are working. Aw, you prayed for me? Well, not just me, all of us. Us? Lily questioned. Your family, my family, the Kinos, and 8 members of the 12. She frowned. Oh. What's wrong? Did you tell them what I said to you yesterday? He sighed. Well, yeah, I did. I had to let them know how unlike you it was and how the bad guys are working on you, like their method of attack. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to embarrass you, Lily, but after I spoke to your parents and my grandfather, they felt adamant that we're going to need to show force. And well, who's stronger than 12 men? Well, 8 men who've spoken to an angel, who are called as God's warriors. Who knows, maybe they were meant for a time like this when we're battling demons up close and personal. And there will be 11 men soon because 3 more will be arriving at the Kino's home today. But Lily, they know it wasn't you talking yesterday, so don't be upset. She nodded sadly. I just feel so embarrassed. He gently pulled her to him and held her against his chest, and after a few seconds, he looked around. Are your parents home? She nodded. Yes. My dad is in his office, and my mom is reading to Iris and the twins up in Iris's bedroom. Why do you ask? 'Cause I was going to do this, he said softly as he lowered his head and kissed her. slowly and gently. When he pulled away, he shook his head. That is not going to get it. Tugging on her hand, he led her to the right into the formal front living room, pulled her close, and kissed her again, this time deeply, lingering for quite a time. When he raised his head, Lily smiled up at him. Well, that was nice. He nodded. It was really nice. He ran his hands over her shoulders and down her arms. Ah, Lily. How can a girl be so perfect? Yesterday should prove that I am far from perfect. He smiled but shook his head. That wasn't you. And I knew it immediately. Sighing, he stepped back and looked around. I've never been in this room, but I've seen this room before. You have? Yes, in that video where you all did church for Gabe when he was sick and you all sang together. Oh, yeah. He looked around and walked to the piano. Do you play? She shook her head. Nope, only Violet. Well, she taught me a few things on the piano. Oh, like what? She giggled. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. He chuckled. Play it. She shook her head. Nope. She eyed him. Do you play? He smiled a little. Play something. He shook his head. Nope. Please. He sighed. I'll tell you what. I'll play something if you sing. She frowned. He sat down at the piano and raised the key lid, softly running his fingers over the keys. Let me think, he mumbled and then smiled. I don't know how to play Last Dance. Well, good, because I won't sing that. He smiled. How about this? He began the intro to Amazing Grace. Amazing Grace, she guessed. He laughed. Yes, and I guess I'm not playing it very well if you have to ask. Oh, you're playing fine. Good. Do you know the words? Of course. He nodded and started over and nodded at her. The moment she began to sing, he felt chills run over his body. As this girl was amazing. There was such a sweetness about her. She moved closer as she sang, standing right behind him with her hands on his shoulders. When she was on the second verse, he softly sang harmony with her. Lily smiled and squeezed his shoulders, and he was in heaven. This sharing of a beautiful song about the grace of Jesus being in harmony in voice, but more so in their lives, it was heaven. They both looked up and smiled as Keegan appeared in the doorway. He leaned against the cased opening to the room, obviously enjoying the concert. A moment later, Lizzie came down the stairs holding Iris's hand. She came and stood next to her husband. He put his arm around her. Lizzie loved that her rough, tough husband recognized beautiful moments like this one and would stand still to appreciate them. Justice and Lily sang all 6 verses. Justice smiled up at her as the song ended. That was beautiful, Lily, he said softly. She frowned, suddenly breathing hard, and put her hand to her head. What? She said. His brow furrowed. I said that was beautiful. Stop, she said loudly. He stood. Lily? She stepped back. Both Keegan and Lizzie came into the room. Lily, Keegan said firmly, tell us what's happening. She shook her head. Someone just yelled at me. He said, I won't let you be happy. You can't win. You will die. You can't stop us. Justice took her by the shoulders and looked into her eyes. Well, it's not true. Don't listen. She whimpered. Oh, it hurts. It hurts. What hurts? Lizzie asked. Tell me where it hurts, she said as she placed her hands on either side of Lily's head. My head. And I'm going to be sick. Oh, Daddy, it hurts. Keegan lifted her and laid her on the sofa. Talk to me, baby girl. Lily shook her head, her eyes closed. I don't want to talk. I have a bad headache. Just let me rest. Justice's eyes met Keegan's, the worry evident in both men's eyes. New scene. It is January 28th, 12:10 p.m., Tuesday afternoon, Keno Estate, Crystal Cove, California. Eric came in through the kitchen door that led to the garage right after he'd given a martial arts lesson. Down on the beach, he'd received a call from Master Foreman at the Newport studio. Master Foreman asked Eric if he would come a few minutes early to sign the certificates for the ladies, and Eric had completely forgotten that he'd promised to be a dignitary at a large group of new female black belt recipients and award them their belts. So he'd rushed off, promising his guests that he'd be gone an hour tops, but it had been closer to 2 hours. He smiled at his wife as she turned from the refrigerator with her hands full of lunch supplies. He nodded at the other ladies in the kitchen, Danny Quinn, Anna Wallace, and Hazel Iman. "Hello, ladies," he said kindly. "Hello, Grandmaster Kino," they all said at the same time. "Hey, Eric," Shelley said brightly. He came forward and kissed her cheek. "Hello, my Shelley girl," he said, as he took some of the things out of her hands and placed them on the counter. "Where are the guys?" "They are out on the deck talking things over, and they are very much looking forward to Mr. Musani's arrival any minute." He glanced toward the open glass door in the dining room and then turned back to his wife. "Well, I am sorry I took longer than I said I would. What can I do to help you?" She giggled. "I love you, Eric, but I don't presently need any help. I have plenty. Go see your new friends." He grinned. "Thanks," he said, as he quickly headed out to the deck. "Hello, Eric," several said as he came toward them. "Hey, guys. I am so sorry I'm late. It took a little longer than expected." "Problems?" Sakchai asked. Eric smiled. "Not really, but the class I went to address was a large group of women who have all been through some problems and some trauma and had pursued martial arts as a way to move forward in their lives. And it seemed I needed to take some time and counsel a few and set up some appointments to speak to a few others." "Ah, you don't have to explain any more, Eric," Billy said. "Matter of fact, you could have stopped it. It was a large group of women." The men all chuckled, and Eric smiled and then quickly changed the subject. "I guess you've had the opportunity to fill Sakchai in on the problem in Pine Forest that we're tackling?" "We have," Sess answered, "and we've prayed together, and we've consulted with each other about what answers we believe we've received." "Wonderful, and what are those answers?" "Well, Eric," Billy said slowly, "we didn't want each of our answers to have an effect on anyone else's, so we wrote them all down on a piece of paper and pulled them out of a bowl." Eric nodded. "Did any of them match?" "Oh, yes," Ronnie said softly with a twinkle in his eye. "Well," Eric prodded. Alo shook his head. "Well, we would be pleased, Eric, if you would share with us what impressions you have about the action we should take." Eric chuckled. "Is this a test?" Bev said. "Perhaps it seems that way, but it's more of a test of how well we did." "I see," he sighed. "Okay, then. But you may not like what I feel we must do," Eric said. They all remained silent, and Eric smiled at that. He sighed. "I realize that you, Sakchai, just arrived, and Lev and Miguel and Sess just yesterday, and Andrew and Enrique will come today too, so what I'm trying to say is, I realize that you have just traveled a very long way to be here and probably have no desire to get back on a plane for 4 hours. But I feel like we need to go to Pine Forest and address this problem in person." Thomas felt inclined to reach out to us to ask for help. He's one of us, and that tells me that we probably need to show up and take care of the problem. I mean, why has God brought us together suddenly so quickly? You, Miguel and Lev, you even had dreams about coming here. The rest of you felt a strong urge to come here, and now that you're all here, Thomas reaches out to us for help. I think we must go to Pine Forest and do whatever God places on our hearts to do." He looked around at the men. "How'd I do?" "I believe you did well," Miguel replied. He reached over and picked up the bowl and held it out to Eric. "Pick one." Eric reached in and pulled out a folded piece of paper, unfolded it, and read it aloud. "Go in force." He pulled out another. "Commute with power." And another one. "Passage." And the others. "Go and show force." "Journey." "Make way." "A straight trek." He nodded. "Well, that makes it pretty clear, I guess. So you all feel like the Lord wants us to travel to Pine Forest and take care of the problem?" They nodded as Jeffy came out on the deck. "Dad, the Okellos and Mr. Musani are coming up the drive." Eric nodded. "Thank you, honey. We're on the way in." Jeffy turned and went to greet her visitors, and the men also started inside, and Seth spoke quietly. "Eric, I know that traveling is quite expensive, and I have some money saved up that I would like to offer." Eric shook his head. I appreciate the offer, truly I do. But please, save it for your local mission. God has blessed me, and paying for our travel expenses is nothing to me. God has made it so that I will have the resources to help anyone and everyone I come across. A trek across the U.S. is nothing. And I'm not bragging. I simply want you to understand that God's got this. He will provide for me and each of you anything that we need, and not only in this current mission, but from here on out. Whatever you need for anyone you come across in your little area of the world, you reach out to me, because I have great resources, and I can make things happen. Alo heard the exchange and frowned. Eventually, though, Eric, the well will run dry, though, correct? Eric smiled kindly. Well, it's difficult to comprehend, I know. I even struggle myself to understand it. My attorney and his investment counselors and specialists work miracles every day. Things are such that my daily returns replace any amount I can spend. If and when it runs out, then it's time to look up. That will mean our mission is over and Jesus is on the way to collect his bride. Oh, when do you want to travel? Ronnie asked. Eric smiled. Well, let's discuss it after Enrique gets here this afternoon. But then the 10 of us can make our plans. However, I do think it should be ASAP. They all nodded and headed into the house. We'll wait in the dining room, Billy said. Eric nodded. Thank you. We won't make you wait long for lunch. We'll welcome the guests and be right in. He turned with a smile as he heard his Jeffy squeal and heard children's laughter. He got to the door and looked out. Jeffy had Sanyu in a giant bear hug, swinging her around in circles. She set her down and put her hands on either side of Sanyu's adorable face. Oh, my beautiful Sanyu, you are growing up so fast. Sanyu grinned. I'm 8. I know, sweet girl, and you are beautiful inside and out. Oh, how I've missed you. Sanyu grinned. Me too. Jeffy laughed and turned and held her arms out to Belong. Come here, big guy, she said sternly. Grinning, the 11-year-old boy moved forward and hugged Jeffy. Hello, Dr. Kino, he said softly. She squeezed him hard. Ugh, hello, Ballon d'amour. Just look at you. I can't believe how big you've gotten. Oh, my goodness, I can't believe it. It's as if you're turning into a man. Ballon's smile widened. You're almost as tall as me, Jeffy added. Eric and Shelley laughed at that because that wasn't saying much. Jeffy was only about 5 feet 4 inches, if that. Well, he'll hit a growth spurt soon, Dr. John Okello said, and then he'll pass you, Dr. Kino. She laughed. Good. That is as it should be. Hello, Dr. Okello. Hello, Maureen, Jeffy said softly. It's so good to see you both. You as well, Maureen said brightly. Eric and Shelley moved down the steps and shook hands with and hugged the Okellos and the children, and then Eric looked past them to the man who stood quietly at the bottom of the steps. He smiled. Musani, Andrew? Eric asked, using the Ugandan way of stating the surname first. The man smiled, and it seemed when he did that, the sun came out. He nodded and moved forward as Eric came down to stand in front of him. Yes, I am Andrew, he said in a little bit of broken English. Andrew, I'm Eric Kino, and I have very much been looking forward to meeting you, sir. Andrew nodded. Me as well, he said. He took a step back and bowed, and Eric smiled and returned the gesture. Grandmaster Kino, I am deeply moved to be standing here in front of you in America, at your home. And I'm deeply moved to have you here. He looked around. Everyone, come in. We're about to have some lunch. Are you hungry? I am, Ballon said loudly, making them all laugh. Eric looked at the Ameritech driver who was taking luggage out of the vehicle. Agent Tuffin, would you like to come and join us? Oh, no, sir. I have an errand to run for Chief Adams, and then I have to join Agent Wallace at the governor's mansion. They are having security issues, but whenever the Okellos are ready to go back to Chief Adams' home, just call Chief Adams, and I'll be right back. So for now, the Okellos have what they need for the day, and I'll keep their large luggage with me. Where would you like me to take Mr. Musani's luggage? Well, if you wouldn't mind, just take it up the stairs and leave it by the front railing, and we'll take him to his room later. Yes, sir. Thank you, Agent Tuffin. My pleasure, sir, and I mean that. Eric smiled. The house guests at the Kino estate were extremely welcoming to the Okellos and to Andrew Musani. The 7 men who were part of the 12 were very excited to accept the newcomer into their fold and told him so several times as they ate lunch. Andrew mostly smiled and nodded as he listened to their chatter. So tell us, Andrew, Billy began. What are your thoughts so far? What is God putting on your heart? Andrew smiled. Why do you ask such a question? Billy smiled. I suppose because God put it on my heart to ask. Andrew grinned. Ah, God is so amazing. You see, I've been waiting for someone to ask me that question. Everyone quieted and listened to what Andrew had to say. Tell us why you've been waiting, Ronnie urged. Because, sir, the good Lord gave me a message for you all, but told me to wait until one of you asked me what the Lord has put on my heart. The men all sat silently waiting. Shelley, Jeffy, Danny, and Hazel were used to their men waiting in silence. Maureen Okello shifted impatiently, and Anna Wallace thought she might go mad with the waiting. Andrew placed his fork down and finished chewing his bite of the delicious pasta salad. Well, I'm not quite sure what the message means, but the Lord has assured me that you will know, and here it is. We must travel. The men all took a deep breath and smiled and nodded. Andrew glanced around. So, you all seem quite moved. I guess you know what it means. Will you share it with me? Of course, Eric said softly. He went on to tell all about the problems Thomas Sawyer was having in Pine Forest. He told about how his family died trying to fly to Georgia to fix the problem. He told about Justice and Lily and how they're being attacked almost daily. Finally, he told how they all prayed over the situation and all felt like God was telling them to travel to Georgia with a great show of strength and banish this evil. And so you see, Andrew, you just gave us a confirmation that we are correct. We must travel to Georgia. I know you just arrived and must be tired of traveling, but I will willingly go wherever the Lord will have me go, Andrew put in quickly. When do we leave? Eric nodded. Well, I was waiting for Enrique to arrive in a few hours, and then we can sit together and pray together and decide. Andrew nodded. I think I won't unpack until we make that decision, he said with a grin. Not that I have much to pack or unpack. Billy smiled. Ah, well now, that makes it easy, doesn't it? Andrew laughed. It does indeed. Miguel smiled and then nodded. I wish we could have found the 12th member before we go to do this. Several others nodded, but Jeffy gasped. All heads turned to look at her. Is it Cam? Shelley asked immediately. Jeffy blinked several times. Sonia waved her hand in the air. Oh, Dr. Kino, you are shining so brightly. There is a bright white light all around you. Do you see it, Ballon? Ballon shook his head, and Sanyu frowned. You never see it. Jeffy, Eric asked calmly, what do you see? She nodded. I didn't see anything, but I heard words very loudly. Jesus spoke to me. What did he say? Several at the table asked at once. Jeffy smiled. He said, the 12th member will be provided. His voice was very clear, very strong, so strong it startled me. The men smiled. Well now, this is very exciting, Ronnie said softly. Jeffy nodded. And Dad, I get the feeling that you might be leaving fairly soon, maybe within a few days. Ronnie said. I suppose I need to call Patrick and let him know he might be on his own this Sunday. Eric nodded. Maybe we should all take the next few hours to speak with family and make arrangements. I have already spoken to Jason about possibly chartering one of his jets so that would make it easier. Oh, so much easier, Shelley said. Eric glanced at her, wondering if she thought she was going to tag along because he felt strongly that the women should stay home. His eyes shifted to Danny Quinn and Hazel Iman and Anna Wallace. He cleared his throat. Here goes. Ladies, as much as we would love to have you come along, I'm getting a strong feeling that you should stay here where you'll be safe. Stay here and take care of each other. Shelley smiled and nodded. Well, I have no desire to drag 5 little ones across the country to watch you battle demons. I will stay where it helps you the most. Thank you, sweetheart. Your support is duly noted. Shelley giggled. I surprised you, didn't I? The other men looked on with interest but said nothing. Well, Eric said, There's no good answer to that, he admitted, making the others laugh. Jeffy laughed. Just to let you all know, my mom is extremely supportive of Dad, but she is also quite, what would be a good word? Her eyes brightened. Spirited. Oh, good word choice, Jeffy, Eric said. I was going to say a fireball. Shelley rolled her eyes and made a face. I have no idea what you two are talking about. The men all chuckled. Tell me it isn't so, Hazel said. You mean she's not always sweet and quiet and kind and amiable and gentle and charming? Shelley's eyebrows rose as she waited, daring anyone to say otherwise. She is all those things, Eric said softly with a smile. But when she disagrees with you, she is a force to be reckoned with, which makes my life so much more fun and makes me love her more every day. Ah, very good, Eric. That was masterful. Eric smiled. Thank you. The others laughed, and Shelley sighed. But really, Eric, I don't mean to speak things aloud because there's power in words, but if the Sawyer's plane went down, doesn't that mean that you men will be in danger when you fly to Georgia? Eric nodded. I understand your concern, my love. However, there are a few differences. First, the Sawyers were unaware of the extent of the power of what they were battling and didn't properly protect themselves or prepare themselves. Second, do you think God would get us all together, tell us to go to Georgia, and then allow the bad guys to take us out? I trust God. He looked around the table, as I'm sure the others here do, and I have to say, I'm not afraid. Alo nodded. Spoken like a true warrior, Grandmaster Kino. You mentioned that the Sawyers didn't properly prepare, and when you said that, I felt immediately that the Lord would like us to begin a fast. I agree, Lev said quickly. That came into my mind as well. Eric nodded. I agree. If anyone would like to fast, please do, but if you are unable to fast, there will be no judgment because each person is different and each body is different. Well said, Eric, Seth said. When will you begin your fast, Shelley asked. I'm just asking for meal planning purposes. They all turned to Eric, and he shook his head. Well, it's open for discussion. No, it's not, Sakchai put in. You are the leader, and so, Grandmaster Kino, we humbly ask you to lead. Eric sighed. Very well. It sounds as if we might be traveling soon, so if it were just me, I would begin my fast immediately because I have this no time like the present kind of attitude. I believe we all do, Miguel said. Eric nodded. However, I feel like we should wait for Enrique to arrive and we all begin together. He's coming in a few hours and he may be hungry and tired, so I think we should offer him a meal, an afternoon snack, and then this evening a good meal before we spring a fast on him. Psalm chapter 121, verse 8. The Lord will keep your going out and your coming in from this time forth and forevermore. That is the end of chapter 24. And I just realized I gave you guys all a warning that things are about to get rough, but I guess that warning shouldn't have come until the next chapter. So because you're probably all thinking, well, what was the big deal? Nothing really big happened. Anyway, it's coming. Bye-bye.